Hi, this is Brett with Red Haven Photography. I'm going to make a video that will show you how to turn your presets into Lightroom profiles. The whole point to this is that with a profile, you apply it. If it's a little bit harsh, if the color grading is crazy, you have to jump in and go to all the different sections and try to mellow it out a little bit. That's usually the problem I have. I love a look of a profile, I apply it to, or a preset, I apply it to a photo, and it just looks too harsh, too over the top. And most of the presets that I've either bought, which I don't buy many, or people have given to me, um, it kind of seems like the trend is to really pump them over the top. And that drives me insane. So what I've done is I've started to migrate all of my presets to Lightroom profiles. The benefit that that gives you is that you can use one slider to reduce or enhance the amount of the adjustments that the preset makes. So I decided to make this video just for myself so that I wouldn't forget how to do this. So that's why I ended up, that's why you're here. That's why I ended up making this video. So anyway, I'll go through the steps really quick on how to do it. It's necessary to do it in Camera Raw. There may be another way, but that's the way I figured out how to do it. To get to Camera Raw, you can probably do this through Photoshop. Just load up, just take a raw image, and even from, you can do it from a folder. You could probably do it from Lightroom, but raw images open up in Camera Raw, and you can do all this stuff through there in Photoshop. In this example, I'm going to be using Adobe Bridge just because that's how I do it. So let's take an example photo. Let's take this one here. You just right click and open in Camera Raw. All right, cool. Okay, in Camera Raw, you want to go to the presets button. This section will show all of the presets that you use in Adobe Lightroom. So today, just for this example, I'm going to take some of my favorite presets that I bought. These Ellie Mae presets are freaking awesome. But the bottom line is, like, if we look at this Dusty Rose one, it's just too much. The first thing, I mean, you can see that this, I shoot, I think this one's set in neutral or flat. Yeah, camera flat too. So you can see this image is really, really flat. And when I go to, let's say this Dusty Rose one here, you can see just how it it goes crazy. It's like, man, if I could just get this about half. So if I were to apply this in Lightroom, I'd be messing around with the exposure and the shadows, and I would spend a lot of extra time trying to get this to look right. But I love the color grading. I think it just looks incredible. So this is the one that we're going to use today. To start off, just apply the profile that you like. We're going to go back to the edit panel, and here we can make some changes. We can actually change the profile if we want to, if we don't want to use Adobe Color, but Adobe Color is pretty flexible, so we're just going to use that anyway. Now, right off the bat, so we're going to turn this preset into a profile, and we'll be able to adjust it with a single slider. Like if I were to add this one here, even though it looks crazy, I would be able to just drop that down. But I'm going to make a few adjustments to the image so that the profile, when we get done, is going to be a little bit more flexible. So we'll go back to presets, and we'll apply this Ellie Mae preset. Go back to the edit panel, and the first thing I'm going to do is, oh, hi, Amber. The thing I'm going to do is just bring up the shadows a little bit. I think everything that I apply this to, it ends up being a little dark. So I'm just going to just add that adjustment to it, and we'll just leave that for our adjustments. You can also go through and make any changes. If you go, oh, I love this preset, but it's a little bit too orangey, well, you can go in and make those adjustments. You can do whatever you want. What I found is the less crazy you go with your adjustments, the better the profile looks when you do the adjustment from left to right. So if that's looking looking good. Let's say we got it the way we like it. We'll head back to the preset panel. And then what we're going to do is we're going to alt click this little icon here that says create a preset. And here's our profile editor. So we'll go ahead and name it Dusty Rose. For now, you can leave it in user profiles. If you have other LUTs that you use or profiles, you can put it in there, but this really doesn't matter. Here you can go ahead and just take out any of these adjustments that you'd like. If you made some other adjustments, vignetting, filters, blah, 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 you can throw those in there too. I would probably stay away from those because the profile is just kind of a starting point, and a graduated filter that's used in one place isn't necessarily going to look good elsewhere. So keep it simple, and that'll look cool. For the tone map strike, definitely leave this at normal unless you know what you're doing. This section right here will, this is actually the slider that we looked at earlier. When it's set to 100%, that's what it's going to look like that we see over there. We can actually start this off. If we wanted to change this to, let's say, 75%, it would take it would be like starting it with the adjustment slider down a little bit. But for now, I'm just going to leave this at 100. And if you find, after you create it, that it comes in at 100% just too strong, then just come in and lower this number, and maybe even lower the maximum. But I think we'll be good with this for now. So we click OK, and we're going to go back to the edit panel, and I'm going to test our profile, we want to reset it back to open so it looks like it did when we brought it in. And then we can go to this little guy right here to browse profiles, and if we go down to user profiles, where is it? Dusty Rose. There it is. And now, if like every time I apply this preset, I go, it's just too much. Well, we can just drag this down a little bit until we like the way, we're getting the color grading that we want. We're getting the effect that we like on it. And then there's our starting point. I can say, I do not like this whole shadows crazy thing. I'd say that looks good right there. The preset probably had a little bit of clarity in it, but maybe I want to just dump that up a little bit, bring up the vibrance, whatever. You can do whatever you want. But that's pretty much it. If you, just to go a little bit deeper into this, if you wanted to organize your presets into, well, here, let me show you. Where am I? Let's go to the profile browser, and you can see I've got these Redhaven. I've made these or turned these, this preset conversion thing right here. I've taken presets that I've made, presets that I bought, presets that people have given to me, and I've turned them into profiles. So if you wanted to organize your stuff so that you've got your own sections that you want to put them in. Maybe you want to do a section all black and white, or you've got some ones that you just use for street photography, something like that. Like these are kind of streety that I use. I'll show you how to do that. And it's a little strange, but where's the one we just made? User profiles, Dusty Rose. So if you hold down Alt and hold down your right click, if you just right click, it goes away, but hold down your right click and go to rename profile. What you can do in here, and this is a little weird, it's kind of clunky, but let's say I wanted to put this into Redhaven preset conversions. What I have to do is go to new group. I don't know why this is, and there may be a way to do this that I haven't figured out, that nobody's told me. But let's say I want to put it in Redhaven preset conversions. I think I got that right. You can, okay, so this cluster, The cluster is the group. See how these Ludify are all together in a section right here? Let me see if I can figure out what the name of that. Okay, so I called this little section right here Red Haven Photography. So the cluster, good. I can put a description. The short name is actually what you'll see, which is the same as the name. If the name was really long, I guess the short name would be handy. Another important thing to do is in this, and you might even want to do this even if you're not going to put them into a cluster. You want to come through here, and you don't want to limit these. So images from all models and formats. I don't necessarily want to limit this to raw images, so we'll select raw and non-raw. And I don't even want to limit it to color images. You never know what it's going to do with the color grading to a black and white image, make it a really cool effect. So we'll leave it, and we'll go ahead and say normal and high dynamic range. And if you wanted to turn off the amount slider, I don't know why you do that, but you can do that. Click OK, and you'll see that the Dusty Rose one that we made isn't in user profiles any longer. So as you can see, we can come up to the Red Haven preset conversions, and here's Dusty Rose, boom. And to test that out, we can go ahead and reset to open. There's my flat V2 image. Close that out, go to our Red Hat preset conversions, and click on Dusty Rose, and there it is. And that's our starting point. Well, even here from the basic slider, we can lighten this up a little bit. Yeah, just use it as your starting point. Have some fun with it. So anyway, that's how you do it. If you have any questions, hit me up on my website, redhavenphotography.com. Have a great day, and my bird says, bye.